That about says it all. Let's give the house band some love as well, and Paul and his crew, the techno geniuses. Okay, wow, they will be back. But scan the room for a moment and see who's swimming with you in this sweet ocean of devotion. As you look at these sweet beings all around you, have your heart look at the beings and begin to see through the veil of mere personality into the divine presence of the living one that's shining through all of us. We've all been anointed and appointed to be here on this particular Sunday. So whatever pulled you to be here was the presence of God seeking to express itself more completely and more fully. So you're not here by accident. You're here because whatever was going on in your life, whether you've been divinely inspired or whether you're crawling out of a hole of darkness, you're here today. So just tap your little thymus for a moment, activate that immune system, and say, I am so ready for my miracle. I'm available to more good than I've ever imagined. It's here within me right now. Right now. Right now. Look at a neighbor and say, my God, God is shining through you today. I see it and feel it. Let's celebrate together. Somebody scream about it. I'm welcoming you into the miracle zone. All month our theme has been Enter the Miracle Zone. And we have talked about the fact that a miracle is an instant or incremental unfoldment of something that's already happening. It's not something far away. It's not something just to be celebrated, something that happened 2,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago. The miracle is the unfoldment of a perfect spiritual idea that's already happening in the heart mind of the infinite, the mind of God, or the quantum field, and that we are becoming the right and ripe conditions for that which is already happening to reveal itself. You are basically lifting your vibration and frequency to match what already exists in the mind of God. As I mentioned last week, just as the oak tree is already within the acorn is not attracting an oak tree. The acorn in the proper condition is being the right condition for the oak tree to emerge. So there is something about you that is so magnificent, so beautiful, so wonderful, so successful, so whole and complete that already exists because, as I said earlier when I was hitting the gong, you are an emanation of the living one. You are an emanation of the divine presence that's never an absence. So we're not here to chase our good, because in chasing our good, you're subconsciously saying the good is somewhere else other than where you are. You are here to be absolutely available, making yourself available to the good that is seeking to know itself by means of you. Hear what I just said. The presence of the living one, God presence itself, is seeking to know itself by means of you. Now, what does that mean? And the newcomers are saying, what the heaven is he talking about? Listen, this presence that we call God, love, beauty, intelligence, it is pure intelligence. It knows everything real, but it wants to know itself as you. In other words, it wants to be the activity of awareness of your mind, your heart, and your soul, so that you become a living demonstration of all that God is, because all of it is everywhere, which means it must be where you are. So we're entering into the miracle zone by allowing Reverend Susie, our heart to swell with the awareness that our inward heart desires are already fulfilled. We're entering into the miracle zone by being hyper-focused on what we already have and then hanging out in gratitude about that. That is juxtaposed to being hyper-focused on what you don't have, hyper-focused on what appears to not be working. You, as a spiritual practice, are becoming hyper-focused on what you already got in your house and being so grateful for it that gratitude becomes a portal, an opening through which the universal presence, through universal law, gets to pour itself through you. In other words, as we've been speaking about, that complaining about conditions is quicksand or super glue to the conditions that you're complaining about, and it shrinks your capacity to receive the blessings that are happening all around you. Gratitude expands your availability. Complaining and bemoaning your fate shrinks your availability. And as I've said over the years, and now it's being spoken a lot in sports fields, availability is the best ability. When you open yourself up and are available through deep and soulful spiritual practice, deep and unbridled surrender, not giving up but yielding to the presence that is never in absence, more good flows through your mind, through your heart, through your soul, through your life than you can even imagine, because it is that good is outside of your present way of thinking. It's outside of your present paradigm, which is why your egoic aspect of life is so afraid of transformation, because your transformation, you're becoming something you've never become before. You will do things you've never done before. You will think things you've never thought before, and that scares the ego. So you have to surrender to the unknown on a daily basis through your meditation and through your affirmative prayer, so that the unknown becomes your friend. It's where the goodies are. It's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be good. In other words, even as you're moving through the darkness, you understand the 139th Psalm that says that the darkness and the light are both alike to thee. The darkness shines as the day. That means in the midst of your darkest moments, in that womb of creativity, there's good brewing there. It's a field of infinite possibility, infinite potential in the black holes, in the darkness of your own life. There's something brewing in there. And if you could just maintain your awareness on something to be grateful for, then that inner darkness, that womb, begins to reflect and reveal a capacity and an infinite good that you've dared not to even imagine, because your mind was stuck on merely surviving. Your mind was stuck on what you didn't have. But if you can hold the space, that darkness becomes a womb of something new in your life. And so that's why we can say all things work together for our good. All things may not be good in the moment, but they work together for good, because the universe is progressive. And if you can hold on to that space, if you can stabilize that awareness that your life is the life of the divine, oh my God, you will rise, you will shine, you will break free from the matrix, you'll break free from the world as it appears to be, and you'll begin to see the world as it really is. If you stop in this moment and just become very still, you'll become aware there aren't any problems in the mind of God. We make most of them up. We make most of them up with attachments and expectations. But if we can just stop and just in this moment, without our attention on anything different the way we think it should be, and just hold that space with a deep sense of gratitude, then there is a compelling energy that starts to move through us, and more is given, because you have become the place for it to express. Say it with me, if you will. I am entering the miracle zone. I am so grateful for the blessings I already have. My heart is so big in feeling that what I want, I already have it. I'm taking a vow right now for the next 7 days, I'm not going to complain about anything. I see some of you sweating about that, so for the next hour, I'm not going to complain about anything. Just start with where you are and expand it, you see? And so, as we're entering this miracle zone, our topic is what thoughts are you seeing? This is very important, because when you look at your mindscape, your sky of mind, there are thoughts that are moving through, and some of them are so repetitive, you think about them every day. You have the same thoughts every day, same conversations every day, same conversations, same complaints, same stuff, over and over and over again, and you think your life is going to change? No. What thoughts are you looking at? Most people do not have a direct realization with reality, capital R reality, not your personal little reality. You know how people always say, oh, that's my reality, that's my truth, poppycock. Stop all that popular nonsensical talk. There is truth, and then there's your perception of it, you see? And so most people are experiencing their thoughts about reality, but they're not experiencing, you can't experience reality anyway, you have to have a realization of it. They're not having a realization of the reality. That's why Jesus the Christ said, in substance, they have eyes, but they cannot see, and they have ears, but they cannot hear, because they are only living their point of view. They're only living their perception. They're only living the thoughts moving through the awareness, and individuals have no idea where those thoughts are coming from. They're coming from popular media. They're coming from all kinds of conversations. They're all over the place. And if you're not thinking for yourself, then something else is thinking for you. You have to have a dimension of spiritual practice that lifts your vibration to such a degree that there's an unconscious, subconscious warding off of the limiting, superstitious thoughts that pervade society. Lack, limitation, scarcity, doubt, worry. Might makes power. Wars and rumors of wars. All of those things that we see in the world have come from our immature brothers and sisters who have such deep-seated wounds and unhealed traumas that they move into physical might. They move into hoarding and greed and stealing and hurting and manipulating, because they are little brothers that need a healing, you see. And so they use their pseudo power to create a world of appearances, of which they discover later on they can have it all, and they have nothing at all. We've seen all of that in the news. People thinking they have it all and don't know what to do with it. And so you're not walking down that particular path. You're walking down the path of awakening and understanding that the thoughts that are passing through you, you're beginning to examine them. And you're beginning to open yourself up to real thinking. We call real thinking being inspired by the presence of God. That's a real thought. When the presence, and of course, now, please understand, we're not talking about an anthropomorphic man in the sky with the beard, and you're going to heaven, you're going to hell, you've been bad, you've been good. That doesn't exist, okay? This is the dogma-free zone, which means I'm totally understanding of the fact that when you pass over, there is no God judging you. God is a field of unconditional love, so there's no judgment. You judge yourself based on what you did or did not do. You have a direct experience of every energy you ever put out. That's law, has nothing to do with the love of God. God cannot help but love you because you're an emanation of God, and God is love. Feel that, what I'm saying here, and break free from superstition. Break free from superstition. Break free, rise and break free from superstition. So, as you begin to give yourself permission to do just a little bit of spiritual practice every day, and then it will increase because you're going to love it so well. And this is why we have classes, meditation retreats, Friday night community gatherings. We have all of this because this is really, you know what this really is? This is a memory course. You have come to remember who you are. I ain't giving you nothing that's not already within you. It's already there. You just forgot it. You got blind. You have a spiritual astigmatism, you see? You have spiritual amnesia. You actually think you're only a body. You think you're only the son and daughter of your parents. No, you are a son or daughter of the Most High God, you see? And so we are here reminding you of this truth. And so when you begin to understand that you're looking at life through a limited perception, and you're experiencing that perception, and that limited point of view, you sometimes have inherited from an imprint of the world, and it just repeats itself and reflects itself in the world of appearances. You're here to think so well. Thinking simply means being available to the inspired thought of the Most High, you see. In the Japanese language, the word is kamkoru, which means to return to the realm of God. You combine that with the English thinking, it has something to do with creativity. And so when you combine kamkoru with the thinking, you get returning to the realm of God to be inspired. Now, when you become inspired, you start to see that which is real and eternal. You start to see it. It's a different frequency. This is why Carl Jung, I'm sure, said, thinking is hard. That's why most people judge. That's his statement. He said, thinking is hard. That's why most people just judge. That's why most people judge. Judge is lazy. Judging is lazy. You don't have to think. You just judge. Oh, look at those people. Look at how they look. Look at those folks. Look at those black folks. Look at those gay folks. Look at those people. Look at those white folks. You can just judge. It's easy to judge if you can't think. When you think and you pierce the veil of illusion, you see the presence of God in every being. You see either the triumph of the God being rising up in somebody, or you see the trauma, that which is allowing an individual to act out of order for a while. But you start to see without judgment, the presence of God is everywhere. And then you become a dynamic, energetic alarm clock. Just your presence of joy and happiness and harmony, not based on circumstance. Remember, if this is your innate being, the world didn't give it to you and the world can't take it away. When you begin to vibrate at the level of who you really are, you can walk in the world of appearances, but be of a higher frequency and be the vibrational alarm clock, just being in the field, because you're not caught up in the sauce and the illusion of lack and limitation and scarcity and not enoughness. And as you rise up, your own wounds and your own fears and doubts and all the traumas that have been encased in the tissues. The issues are in the tissues. They're in the body. They're in the sinew. They're in the nervous system. As you begin to lift up your vibration, that begins to unravel. And you lift up your vibration, you get a good spiritual therapist. You get a good diet. You get a good exercise. You get a good spiritual practice. All of it works together. For what purpose? To remember who you are and why you took the incarnation in the first place. You see, this is a joyful memory course. You have come out of amnesia and to wake up to the infinite possibilities that lie within you. This is why Apostle Paul said, in substance, be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 2:12, I think it is. Reverend Joanne can help me out with that. Now, if you get conformed to the world, you'll be deformed, okay? You conform to the world of opinions and all the stuff that you see on television, and you get caught in the emotional contagion of what's happening in the world of appearances. You conform, you'll be deformed. And those thoughts will be deformed, and then you will argue for your deformation. You'll argue for your limitation. You'll argue for the limited point of view that has coagulated itself into time and space. Did you hear what I just said? Let me break it down. Yeah. What you see in the world of appearances is the condensation of thoughts, opinions, points of view, malicious hypnotism, control. It's condensed itself into a world of appearances. You step back far enough, that's not the real world. Even though people can experience that world, but experience doesn't make it real. It's just an experience. You've seen individuals that have been hypnotized on stage, and the hypnotist may say, it is 30 degrees in here, aren't you cold? And they start to shake. It's hot as Hades in there. And they're being hypnotized into experiencing a thought that's not real, you see. And so, as I've said over the years, people of the world have swallowed a nightmare pill. And they are experiencing separation, lack, limitation, God and devil. God is a man in the sky that can send you to hell. They're experiencing a nightmare of something that doesn't really exist, but they're experiencing anyway. So don't tell me it's real because you've experienced it. You're telling me you're experiencing your thoughts about reality, but you may not be having a direct realization of that which is real. You see? Now, what happens when people have a dire case of whatever, poverty, physical dis-ease, and then incrementally or suddenly there's a healing, that healing is a revelation of the wholeness that's already there. And what they did was put themselves into the right condition for the revelation of their true nature. whether it was exercise and diet and prayer and meditation and all of the different modalities that one can do to lift their vibration. God didn't just suddenly come down and say, yo, what? She's doing pretty good. I'm going to give her a healing. Him, not so much. No. The presence of love and beauty and intelligence is everywhere in its fullness, and that we are stepping into the miracle zone. We're starting to look at the thoughts. We're looking, what thoughts are we looking at? We don't want to be. The example that Yeshua ben Joseph said, they have eyes but can't see, and they have ears but can't hear. No! We want our third eye open. That's actually our first eye because we're a spiritual being first. We want our auric field to be so bright that it precedes the body. Your auric field, back in ancient texts, the auric field was considered another organ of your body. And then it was slowly wiped out as new texts began to come into expression, because if you begin to think of yourself not merely as a body, but as a field of love and beauty and intelligence, a living vibrational field, a unique expression of the emanation of God, you'll tap into more power. So they had to eliminate that from certain texts so that you won't even think about your dynamic auric field. That became, it was wonderful truth, and then they turned it into woo-woo. We're taking it back as wow. You see, we are a living field of infinite intelligence that cannot be constrained by time or space. And that whatever has happened to us, ultimately we begin to discover that it's happening for us in a progressive universe. It's always moving forward to express more and more and more of the divinity, of the power and the presence and the love of God. But we have to consciously participate. You see, the difference between us and a living, beautiful being known as a tree, that the tree doesn't have no or maybe. You plant the tree in the right condition, the tree grows, the roots go deep, the trunks grow strong, it grows towards the wind. It's a living, powerful being. The only difference is we're made in the image and likeness of God, which means we have choice. We can say no to our divinity. We can say no to our good, but we can also give ourselves permission to be great. We can give ourselves permission to feel safe. We can give ourselves permission to feel that all of our needs are met. We can do that, which is why we must do that. We've been given the most powerful technology ever existing, and that is you have the capacity to think independent of a circumstance. You know how powerful that is? Right now, as you're listening to me, and I hope you're listening, you may have something going on in your life right now that you don't like. Something may be happening in your family. But right this second, you can think independent of that circumstance. And you can listen and catch the activated energy coming through the word here and begin to think differently, independent of that. You can think independent and begin to set something new in your life right now. You can begin to think right here. Thinking is hard, which is why people judge. You can let go of the judgment. You can begin to think right now, oh, something wonderful is happening. You can begin to think right now, ooh, all of my needs are met. I don't know how, I just know, I feel it, all of my needs are met. You can begin to think right now, my body can heal anything. You can begin to think right now, oh, I'm so loved and supported. You can begin to think right now, everything is working together for my good. You can think independent of that condition and then set something new in motion, and then watch as signs follow consciousness. Signs don't precede it, signs follow, which means the moment you're able to stabilize that, you start to see serendipity, coincidences, spontaneous goodness, little signs will start to show up, you know? You come to a stop sign and you'll be reminded, stop! SYBD, sit your butt down and meditate. You'll see the next sign that says, yield, surrender to God. I don't know what I'm going to do with slippery when wet. Anyway, this guy's crazy. Anyway, come in your imagination, bring it back here now. Come on back. Take a breath here. Release. Say with me right now, I have entered the miracle zone. What I thought was impossible is happening through me right now. Every single thing is working together for my good. I am not being conformed to the world. I'm being transformed by the renewing of my mind and heart and soul. I am bold enough to be whole. And it's happening right now. When? It's happening right now, I tell you. It's happening everywhere for those who have eyes to see. And then Yeshua ben Joseph said this. I love this too. He said, not only have I come to make those that are blind see, I have come to make those that see blind. Yes. Meaning those who are full of their own opinions, their own judgments, their own, I'm right. I've come to make them blind to that so they can see for real. So today, the Spirit of the living one is here all around us. It's in control of this entire service and this entire memory course. And it is saying, in substance, I have come to make those that think they know, think they see, blind to that, so that that spiritual astigmatism will be healed, and that spiritual amnesia will be healed, and that all flesh shall see it together. The great presence, the great power, the great love, oh my God, it is everywhere. And as we begin to vibrate at this level, we are vibrational beings, remember? You are mainly no thing. No thing. Oh, you're mainly space, energy, information. That's what you're spirit. And God is spirit. And we must worship God in spirit and in truth, not in man, in spirit and in truth. You are a vibrational being, and you've just lifted your vibration by being here. Now, to maintain the miracle zone consciousness, you have to practice. You gotta practice. You gotta practice. You remember that old joke where the guys in New York say, "How do I get to Carnegie Hall?" And the guy says, "Practice, practice, practice, bro." You gotta practice. What are you practicing? You're practicing allowing your heart to swell with the awareness that your heart desire is already fulfilled. You're hyper-focusing on what you have and being so very grateful. You're staying out of the stickiness of chronic complaining. Chronic complaining is a public declaration of your inability to see the Christ. And then something begins to happen. Vibrationally. It affects the organs of your body. You become one-pointed. All I'm looking for and seeing is God. It's like this boy was picking strawberries. There was weeds and strawberries everywhere, and he was picking these strawberries. And a man stopped and asked him, he said, "You've been picking strawberries all day, and all these weeds there. How can you tell the difference between the weeds and the strawberries?" The boy said, "All I see is strawberries." We start to become one-pointed. God, God, God. And then when the eye is single, the body is full of light. This is an optic nerve. We are energy fields. We are spirit having a human incarnation. You start to walk with that dynamic and that confidence. And that confidence is built upon self-love. It's not just confidence. As I heard recently, it's not just confidence. It's confidence built on self-love. Confidence built on a lack of self-love is a charade. It's a pretense. Confidence is built upon your self-love and appreciation by hearing God say, in substance, "My eyes are too pure to behold inequity. You are love itself." You have to build up your self-love and appreciation. Then you put on the confidence. Because you're not confident in your little personality and your skills. You're confident in God as you. Woo! It's totally different. I'm telling you what I know here. Whoa! Now, before we move into our prayer moment, let us send a vibrational signal that's responded to by universal law. You're a vibration, you're a frequency. Remember, your frequency is your currency. That's your currency. You see, your frequency is your real currency, and it brings about the coin of the realm and success and open doors and opportunities and meeting the right people at the right time. It brings all of that. It's first. So when I release this signal, you just repeat it after me, yeah? Ooh, your turn. Now think about that area of your life that may be a little dark. Shine the light on it, and now feel that your need is fulfilled. Remember, the feeling is the healing and the revealing with no ceiling. It'll get you reeling with the presence of God. See it? Here we go. See it fulfilled. See yourself fulfilled. Feel it in your heart. You don't have to wait to get it until you feel it. You feel it first, and then it shows up. And it shows up better than what you can imagine. Here we go. Repeat after me. Woo! Now, don't be embarrassed. We're all in this together. It doesn't matter how you sound. It just matters the frequency that you're releasing. You're releasing a frequency of all needs met. You're releasing a frequency of my heart's desires already happening. You're releasing a frequency that life is forming. There's nothing against me. As a matter of fact, to say this, why is life so good? Why do I always have exactly what I need? Why is everything working together for my good? Why do I have so much money? Why am I so prosperous? Why am I so healthy? Why am I so loved and supported? Universal presence through universal law. Answer those questions. Now, here we go. Feel the feeling of already done. Woo! Go. You have released a signal. A vibrational signal that's wordless. It's a frequency of you feeling that you're supported and loved, appreciated, and have all that you need as a feeling tone. And then the feeling does provide a healing and ultimately a revealing, a revelation of what's already there. I'm telling you what I know here. I'm telling you what I know. I feel it in my bones. Woo! In my bones, I tell you.